So I've had an unhealthy obsession with the Oscars this year, completely unrivaled by any other year. I mean, I watched the Oscars the last 4 years. I just never thought about them this much. Most I got was making a point to check out Honora last year as I saw the buzz around it for Best Picture, and watching Amelia Perez because of the amount of nominations. However, this year I have gone above and beyond and watched every single film nominated for the Oscars, including the shorts and the random single nominee films like Viva Verde and Kokuo, and I just wanted to present my thoughts on them because I needed an outlet for this stuff. I'll provide my general thoughts about each movie as well as every category, what I think should win, and my predictions going in the order they were announced in with the live stream. Supporting actress. Okay, the thing about supporting actress is I don't think anyone voting actually knows what they're doing. People say Amy Madigan is absolutely going to win the Oscar because she won the SAG, but, Wumi Mosaku won the BAFTA. Now, in the acting category, I do have bias towards older actors because younger actors have more of a chance to be invited back to the Oscars later. So I'm completely fine with Amy Madigan winning here. However, in my opinion, all eyes are fixed on Mumi Mosaku. She gives such an amazing performance in Sinners that lurks in my subconscious constantly. I absolutely believe she deserves the Oscar far more than Amy Madigan. She's who I think should win, as well as my prediction for who will win. I don't want any smoke to get on him. I mean, come on. She's absolutely the easiest prediction for the nominees from Sinners, where the other nominees are from far tighter races. Also, Teyana Taylor. Teyana gives a great performance as Perfidia, but given the fact that her career is basically just starting, and also the fact that she may get a leading role in a One Battle After Another spin-off, which will definitely get her a nomination, I would be a little disappointed if she won, even though she gave a great performance, and is by far the most interesting character to think about because of how much is left unsaid in One Battle. It's also really dumb that she was showered with awards attention over Chase Infinity, who by far gave the best performance in that movie, but I get it, they're in different categories. It is pretty raw that neither of the nominees from Sentimental Value have any chance of winning, however. Well, they don't need to, they're both vying for third place in terms of performances in that movie anyway. It's very strange that there has been virtually no awards for any of the Sentimental Value performances other than Stellan Skarsgård, because it's a film that's driven by the acting far more than, Sinners or Weapons. But yeah, Wumi Mosaku's performance is the one that shouldn't be ignored, and I'm happy she's getting all this attention. Brief aside, I just wanted to mention that the Oscars just released a sizzle reel of the Best Picture nominees, and it starts with Wumi Mosaku's voiceover. So they clearly understand and respect the power of her performance. So I think she's honestly a shoo-in for the Oscar. I'd be surprised if they gave it to Amy Madigan instead. Makeup and hairstyling. This category is gotta be at its most interesting this year I've ever seen it. So first of all, it's obviously going to Frankenstein. Have you seen Jacob Elordi's face? It's phenomenal work. However, these nominations are just kind of crazy. I think they're really inspired choices, except the Smashing Machine. I have no idea what it's doing there. As for the other nominees, I think The Ugly Stepsister was good. Parasites are just probably my biggest fear next to War, so this is not the funnest watch for me. Sinners would be a good pick, as it was my favorite film of the year. I mean, Cornbread's face alone secured the nomination, in my opinion. But why was The Smashing Machine here? It deserves nothing. It's a lazy biopic on a movie about a guy who already got a movie that tells the same story, also called The Smashing Machine. It's purely to act as a vanity project and get The Rock an Oscar nomination, and it didn't even work. Also to prove that Bowser Jr. can direct without his far more talented brother's help. They gave The Rock hair, I guess? That's what gives this film a nomination. Honestly, the best part of the movie is Emily Blunt, and maybe even The Rock's performances, with The Rock giving a career best. It's still not the best performance. In fact, the film may be coined the Dwayne Johnson threshold, where if you act better than The Rock in this movie, I consider you a good actor. So far, Markiplier is a good actor based on this metric. And finally, Kokuo. No one believes in you more than me, Kokuo. The film is a 3-hour drama about two Japanese adoptive brothers who compete throughout their entire life in kabuki, a Japanese form of theater where men perform as women, much like in Shakespeare's time. The film is exceptionally crafted, with its 3-hour runtime never feeling long. Its character drama is actually interesting and compelling, and its makeup not only plays an integral part in the story, but also is quietly exceptional, parts you don't even think about. The same actor plays a 15-year-old and a 60-year-old in this movie, and it works because the makeup works. Coco is also the highest grossing Japanese live action film domestically, making it about as much money as Godzilla Minus One, so it's by no means like an obscure film. Yet nobody talks about it? I feel like I'm losing my mind. This film was objectively snubbed from a lot of the categories. It's better than 6 different Best Picture nominees this year. An adapted screenplay nomination would be Inspired, probably taking Hamnet's place. And especially acting nominations for acting nominations for Ryo Yoshizawa and especially Ryushi Yokohama, who honestly probably gave the best supporting actor performance this year. This film is easily my pick for makeup, even though Frankenstein's is winning. If Kokoa pulls it off, I would be so happy. I just want to talk about how Kokoa was the only Asian movie nominated, unless you count K-pop Demon Hunters. It's something that baffles me, because it doesn't seem that Asians movie have been snubbed that often in the past. I mean, no other choice is obviously the biggest snub, being either my second or third favorite movie of the year, depending on if I like it better on rewatch. It had the best editing of the year by far, and it's not even up for international feature. That's insane to me. It's better than every single one of them. And of course, Neja 2 as well, a film I have not seen but I've heard tremendous things about. Also, the highest grossing animated film of all time might deserve a little bit of credit for nominations over like Elio. Maybe some politics are at play there, with the Academy only nominating 2 Chinese films ever, as well as like China being in like a weird political spot. Like, they haven't nominated a Chinese film in over 25 years, but its absence is something I noticed immediately, and it's crazy that no one talks about it. Best original score, it's Sinners. I don't even need to say anything else. It's Sinners. It's my pick and prediction. Ludwig knocked it out the park again. He is getting his 3rd Oscar. Of the other nominees, I'd say Bugoni is my favorite, and Frankenstein should have probably been replaced with My Supreme, even though that's carried by its awesome drops. I will say I rewatched One Battle After Another, like literally like right before I'm recording this, and I think that it has a great score, but it just plays a little bit too loud in the film. Like, it was obviously better in a theater, but on headphones, it kind of annoyed me a bit with the strings. But still, it would be a great choice if it won. But it's not winning, because Sinners is winning, and I don't even need to say anything. And it had the best score, yeah. Live action short film. Of the shorts, I'd say the clear best is 2 people exchanging saliva. I'm not going to spoil it. It's on YouTube. Just watch it. Of the other 2, I'd say A Friend of Dorothy was cute. Jane Austen's period drama is funny. And the other 2 are kind of whatever. I have no idea which is the favorite to win. I'm just going to say my prediction is 2 people exchanging saliva. And I hope it gets it. The Singers was fine. Reminded me of Karaoke with the Boys. And The Butcher's Stain was actually really bad. Animated short film. Some really good choices there, actually. I don't really think there's a weak link among the lineup. Like, I've seen a lot of people throw shade towards the Three Sisters. I liked the Three Sisters. Forever Green was kind of predictable, I guess. The animation was amazing. But like, the Three Sisters did have a very engaging story. I mean, the animation wasn't the best, but I found it engaging the entire run through, and I think there's like, I rate films based on the experience I had with the film, and my experience with the Three Sisters was pretty fun. I'd say my favorite, though, was obviously The Girl Who Cried Pearls, with an incredibly interesting story and animation style. I don't know if that would work. Like, but if I like Nirvana the band the show and go back in time, maybe that'd work. I don't know. I know what I'll try first. Oh, there's also Butterfly. Butterfly was great. The animation style made it a little hard to like discern what was going on, but like somewhat, goddamn, if that won, like I think it would won. Oh yeah, Retirement Plan. Retirement Plan was a good poem. The music was way too cheesy and loud, but I like Donald Gleason, so yeah. I'd say my choice is The Girl Who Cried Pearls is the best one. However, I think the Academy is probably going to pick Butterfly, and for good reason, because it's so good. That transition, man. The red transition. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Adapted screenplay is definitely going to One Battle After Another, which is weird, because I'm pretty sure it deviates like quite a lot from the source material. Hamnet and Train Dreams had fine screenplays, I guess. I think I think Train Dreams was probably better, even though I didn't really like Train Dreams that much, because it feels like a film that's carried entirely by the vibes, and if you don't like connect with like the vibes of like a like country man living in America, then it doesn't really do much for you. Oh yeah, Bugonia and Frankenstein had awesome screenplays as well. Honestly, I might just prefer Frankenstein's screenplay over One Battle if it wasn't for the stupid "You Are the Monster" line, because there's so many good scenes in that. Like, but like my pick and prediction go to One Battle After Another. It's genuinely awesome. Original screenplay. Uh, I don't know. Blue Moon is a film that's very heavily reliant on screenplay, so maybe it deserves it. However, it was just an accident. It's entirely reliant on it too. So, and maybe it was a little better. I don't know. My Supreme and Sentimental Value said good screenplays. I'm glad they're here. But in terms of Blue Moon versus it was just an accident, I don't know. I mean, Sinners is obviously winning, and it deserves it. But I am really stumped for like a second place. Like Blue Moon screenplay versus it was just an excellent screenplays are like two giants at the top of their game, and I have no idea which one is gonna win. I don't know. I guess I choose it was just an accident because Blue Moon had the like really weird Stuart Little bit. I don't know. It's really close. It was just an accident for second place. But pick and prediction is Sinners, obviously. Supporting actor. Okay, this is probably by far the most divided race until like like a week ago. But first of all, Benicio del Toro is absolutely not winning. He won in the past. He hasn't gotten any awards before. I mean, for this role, and he didn't really do anything exceptional in One Battle beyond vibes. And I love the Sensei vibes. I really love Sensei, but I don't think he was doing an Oscar-worthy performance quite like other performances in One Battle After Another. I would actually prefer like A$AP Rocky or Tyler the Creator over them, because they honestly gave better performances in their films. Now for the real nominees. Jacob Elordi is who I thought was winning for a while. I just thought his was the more traditional nominee that you'd expect to win based on like the movies. And I think it's definitely deserved if he wins. However, like much like Teyana Taylor in the Best Supporting Actress race, he's absolutely fallen off the map. And since he's still in things and will be back at the Oscars later, I'm happy with him not winning, because he's gonna win an Oscar later on. Delroy Lindo. This one's hard. I have no clue about him. Because of all the supporting actor nominees, he's definitely been campaigning the hardest, despite the fact that he wasn't nominated almost anywhere else. Although the fact that he's announcing an award, I think, might lower his chances a lot. I don't know. He's absolutely the wild card of the nominations here. Yeah. Also, I just want to mention, of the supporting actor performances in Sinners, Delroy Lindo is a really interesting pick, because like you could nominate Miles Keaton for this. I think Miles Keaton was like the lead, but like I think he like shares equal time with the Smokestack Twins. But if you're only allowing like one leading nomination per film, then I think Miles Keaton works. I mean, it's far less category fraud than Judas and the Black Messiah. Or alternatively, you could have nominated Jack O'Connell, who does a great performance as Remick. But I get it. I get why you would nominate Jack O'Connell. Lindo gives an amazing performance, but those two absolutely stole the show far more than either of them. Still, Lindo gives an amazing performance, and if he wins, I would actually be very happy. It would be so fun. Stellan Skarsgård is also very hard. He's who I believe should win, and has gotten a few accolades for his performance. However, I don't know if this is the type of performance the Academy would go for. It's really hard. I hope he wins. He gives the best performance, and it's a much larger chance of getting it than I think people give him credit for. He brings so much weight and emotion to Sentimental Value, and it wouldn't be the same if they used any other actor. Sean Penn is a freak. He's a freaky little man, and he's not coming to the Oscars. He is making it abundantly clear he is not going. He hasn't even campaigned. However, despite this, he is pretty much sweeping the season recently. And it does make sense. He's probably giving the second best performance in One Battle After Another. But I don't know if I want him to win. He's already won twice anyways. I don't think he needs a third Oscar. He's still my prediction for who's going to win, but I'm not happy about it. Casting the new kid on the block. Pretty easy prediction. Sinners is winning this and is absolutely deserved. Everyone brings their A game and does a fantastic job in the film. However, I think in terms of solely thinking about casting, I think Mighty Supreme's casting is just a little bit better because like they pick some crazy choices. Like Gwyneth Paltrow is an inspired choice, but Tyler the Creator as Marty's friend, like the Shark Tank guy. Hell, I think like it's only rivaled by like If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, which has Conan O'Brien as like as the therapist, because they all like work so well. Because like what were the casting directors smoking when they came up with this? I don't know, but it works. It works. If one battle after another wins, it would be cool too, I guess. I mean, there's like five characters in that film. It's like far less an ensemble piece than like Sinners or My Supreme. But it'd be cool too. I don't know why Hamnet is there over Frankenstein. The second agent also deserved to be nominated, but it won't win. It just won't. I don't think the secret agent is winning anything actually. Costume design. It's another win for Frankenstein. Not much more to say. The others are pretty generic nominees, despite Avatar, which I mean, I guess I just assume everything in Avatar is CGI anyway. But like, yeah, Frankenstein is absolutely winning. Again, did you see like what Jacob Elordi looks like in the movie? Original song. It's so goddamn funny that only Golden and I Lied to You are being performed. Like the others do not stand a chance. I hope Diane Warren gets nominated every year and never wins. It's always so funny when it happens. Also, Viva Verdi. I saw the whole film. It sucked. It was so boring. I think the only thing I liked about it was the song, and it was just like fine, whatever. In my opinion, I Lied to You is by far the better song out of the two real nominees. It sounds great. It's instrumental to the actual story and themes of the film. It has the best scene in a movie this year, period. And given the list of people performing it, is absolutely going to have the best performance. However, I think it's hard to deny like the cultural impact of Golden, despite it being the better song. Like legit, I think this is the first time a song has been written to be the biggest song in the world in a movie, only to become the biggest song in the world in real life. It was the song of the summer last year, and it definitely deserved the Oscar. But I would love if Sinners got the upset. Could you imagine? Like, the Sinners sweep would be real if that happened. Documentary feature film. I am really scared that Mr. Nobody vs. Putin is gonna win, despite it being probably my least favorite nominee, considering the amount of like Ukraine war documentaries that have won in the past few. War in Ukraine as kind of an afterthought over like Russian education system, something which yes is an issue, and I feel like this guy's heart is in the right place, but it's not even like top 10 of like the messed up stuff Russia is doing right now. And so I don't really see why I should care about this over the plight of the Ukrainians. Cutting Through Rocks and Come See Me in the Good Line are decent, even if the former is a bit short and the latter a bit long for the size of their subjects. However, the two standout nominees are absolutely The Perfect Neighbor and The Alabama Solution. For my prediction, I'd say The Perfect Neighbor is probably going to win. It's a much more traditional nominee. I don't think the world is ready for an Oscar win of The Alabama Solution, because The Alabama Solution is a far more radical piece of actual investigative journalism. Whereas The Perfect Neighbor is a Netflix documentary, and it's a very good Netflix documentary, but it's a Netflix documentary. The Alabama Solution is absolutely phenomenal. It's easily my pick for best documentary feature. It provides a very shocking and sickening look into the Alabama prison system from the perspective of the inmates, and does a phenomenal job. I hope more people watch it. It's on Neon, if you've got that, or like I don't know what other countries have it. I don't know. It's on Neon in New Zealand, and New Zealand is the only country. Documentary short. Don't binge these all in one sitting like I did. They are very depressing. Except like the donkey one. I like that one. Look, normally I don't like boring nominees that are just like vibing, chill, like Train Dreams. But the donkey one I had a blast with, because it was such a nice breath of fresh air over whatever the hell was going on there. My prediction is, I guess, all the empty rooms, because it has a Netflix money behind it, and also like this news guy is hosting it. I guess, I don't know, because this is the one I'm least confident about, because I really don't care that much about documentary short films, I'm gonna be honest. My favorite was probably Armed Only with a Camera, which is a documentary about a man whose brother died in Russia. And it is just a shocking portrayal of what investigative journalism do, as well as being just a love letter to his brother. And it really actually like it got me emotional by the end, because I think it's one of the most genuine portrayals of brotherly love I've seen, like making a movie about you. However, the one that I do want to win is Children No More Were and Are Gone, for obvious reasons. If you know what the subject matter is, please watch the movie. International feature. Okay, to be honest, I didn't really connect with The Secret Agent. It didn't click for me like it did for so many other people. I think it was way too long, and I would easily replace it with No Other Choice. I think it is easily the weakest nominee here. My favorite was Sentimental Value, which is the one that's gonna win. But the one I want to win is obviously The Voice of Hin Rajab. Sirat was pretty good. Animated feature. How come Lil Amelie is this good and no one told me? Like, legit, I wouldn't have known about this film's existence if it wasn't for the Oscars, and it ended up being, like, one of my favorite films of the year. It's such a cute, charming look into the mind of a 3-year-old brought to life with amazing animation, and managed to make me cry by the end. It's an emotional, phenomenal masterpiece, and it is absolutely not going to win. Zootopia was good, as well, despite being pretty much very similar to the first film. I did really like the Shining reference there. Arco was really imaginative, but the imagination is propping up a pretty generic story. Elio was really boring, except for that one scene that had the greatest song of all time in it, Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads. Listen to that. But like K-pop Demon Hunters is winning, which sucks, because Lil Amelie would be an inspired choice, especially since the Academy has been kind of steering away from mainstream animated movies. Like the last 3 winners weren't like any American animation studio. K-pop Demon Hunters will win, and it deserves to win, I guess. It was probably my second favorite. Whatever. Production design. Production design is yet another technical category that's absolutely going to Frankenstein. The moment I saw the poster with the giant window, I thought to myself, this movie is going to be this year's Wicked. Then I remembered that there's a Wicked this year, and I was like, nah, this movie is going to be more Wicked than Wicked, and I was right. Frankenstein absolutely has the Oscar here. There really isn't a weak link among the nominees. They absolutely deserve the nominations. They were just not as cool as Frankenstein was. I'm sorry. That film is awesome. Editing, I must say once again that No Other Choice should have absolutely been nominated, and it should win. Yeah, but it's insane that F1 is here over No Other Choice. And I liked F1, but my choice for this category, probably Marty Supreme. It's just electric how these cuts keep building off of one another. However, for my prediction, I don't know. both Sinners and One Battle are neck and neck here, although considering winning editing almost always includes winning picture, I'd say One Battle After Another is my prediction. But it would be really cool if Sinners got it, and very deserved. Sound, my prediction here is absolutely One Battle After Another. However, I don't understand why. Because the only bits of sound that really stick out to me are like the first 30 minutes and the final 30 minutes, which seems like a lot. That is about 2 hours of this movie where the sound wasn't doing anything exceptional. And I did just rewatch it, and yeah, it's mainly the score, not the sounds itself. I'd say my pick for this category is Sinners. It's a film that not only thinks about what the sound accomplishes in the themes of the film, but also how the sound exists in a space relative to the camera. It's nothing that hasn't been done before, but works really well for the film, as well as the insane plot of the film to show a large variety of what sounds are played. As for the other nominees, F1 was a loud movie, however, a lot of sounds are just racing noises. No bad nominee. Frankenstein probably shouldn't be here, to be honest, and Sirat is a really inspired choice, as the sound is the best part of that film. Visual effects. Well, visual effects, well, on one hand, there were 2 Michael Bublé. It's Avatar. It's not going to Avatar. It's of course going to Avatar. It's got the best visual effects I've seen in my life, easily. No other film comes close, and it's absolutely winning. Cinematography. A lot of people have called this early for One Battle, but honestly, I think Sinners is gonna win. Sinners is by far the more technically impressive shots, the most gorgeous compositions, and honestly, I really like the color grading in Sinners a lot more than One Vow After Another. I know they're going for completely different things tonally, but like Sinners just looks better. I don't know. Train Dreams also looked really good as well. If Train Dreams won, I would not be angry at that. Sinners had the goddamn aspect ratio change. Every nominee deserves to win. There's no weak link here. However, Sinners is far more of a cinematography achievement than anything else here. Here's the big one. Actor in a leading role. What a crazy race. This year has had so many amazing performances, and it really sucks that only 5 of them can be nominated. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they increased the acting categories to 10 next year, because it's crazy to me that Jesse Plemons, Ryo Yoshizawa, Oscar Isaac, Lee Byung-hun, even Miles Keaton weren't considered nominees. Hell, even Brad Pitt and The Rock could have gotten nominations in any year that wasn't as stacked as this. There really isn't a weak link here. They should have at least nominated Jesse Plemons as a 6th nominee, because he gives a career best performance in Begonia. To be fair, I haven't seen I'm Thick of Anythings yet, but he does incredible. My choice for this category is absolutely Timothee Chalamet. He might be the best performance I have seen in my life. Marty Supreme lives or dies based on his performance, and he rises to the task beautifully. Now, for prediction. Chalamet, Jordan, or Hawke? First of all, I think Hawke is out of the race. I don't... he gives a career best performance, and, looking into that, it seems like Michael B. Jordan is the favorite to win. And, second place is Timothée Chalamet, and Ethan Hawke is just trailing beyond, despite the fact that there's so much support for him. Same for Wagner Moura. But if Michael B. Jordan wins, I think I would be really surprised, because we all know, based on last year, that just because an actor has a somewhat controversial campaign that tanks its score in the prediction markets doesn't mean that it won't win. It's the same thing that happened to Mikey Madison is going to happen to Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet is still winning. I hope his entire speech is sung as an opera song while doing ballet. Actress in a leading role. In stark contrast to actor, actress has been really boring this year. Jessie Buckley is absolutely winning for Hamnet. There'll be no surprises there, even though of the nominees, Rosa Byrne clearly did the best job. But that's just of the nominees, because thinking about it, Chase Infinity was probably my favorite leading actress performance of the year, and she wasn't even nominated, which is crazy, because One Vow After Another got 13 nominations, and she somehow wasn't one. They gave it to Kate Hudson, who I genuinely thought was Jennifer Coolidge for a while from the Minecraft movie. Between this, Caton, and Rachel Zegler in West Side Story, it is abundantly clear that the Academy hates nominating young breakthrough performances, even though those might be the best performances in their movie. I know I said I like it when winners skew older for the legacy and story. However, when you have performances as exceptional as this, it's hard to ignore. Of all the snubs, this one hurts the most for me. Directing. It's hard to overstate how genuinely phenomenal of a directorial achievement One Vow After Another is. Paul Thomas Anderson might be inhuman with the amount of detail, movement, and genuine artistry he gets out of every single one of his films, and the fact that he's still somehow not gotten a single Oscar cements the fact that he absolutely deserves Best Director for this movie. Ryan Coogler and Josh Safdie are great, but I get the feeling that we haven't seen the peak of their directorial talent quite yet, whereas One Vow After Another feels like a swan song for PTA's entire filmography. Now, I think it would have been better if he won for There Will Be Blood, but this one really works as well. When he wins this Oscar, and he will win this Oscar, it will be the most triumphant win since, Christopher Nolan winning his first Oscar 2 years ago. Now, here's the big one. Best Picture. F1 is a good movie. It's not going to win. It does not deserve to win anything, to be honest, despite how fun it is to watch. Train Dreams is not winning anything except maybe cinematography. That would be very interesting. Because it's almost entirely a vibes-based movie, and those vibes I really didn't connect with. I don't... it feels like a beer ad is what it feels like. Sorry to all the Train Dreams fans out there. The Secret Agent, on the other hand, it has a great movie in there. I mean, the plot is engaging. There's great energy in 3 or 4 scenes. Wagner Moura does a amazing job. However, what's holding me back is that you could probably cut a full hour from the movie and it would be significantly better of an experience for me. That's just me. I know a lot of people love this movie, and I just think it would be better if it was shorter. I'm sorry. Hamnet is probably the saddest nominee here, with with tremendous performances and an absolutely inspired incorporation of Shakespeare's classic story. I know screenplay leaves a bit to be desired. However, that moment where she takes the young Hamlet's actor's hand made me cry in the cinema. I am a huge fan of Shakespeare, like just in general, like all his plays, and this film, the essence of Shakespeare in a way that I haven't even seen from like actual adaptation Shakespeare in film. Frankenstein is such a well-realized package, with the style and themes cranked up to the max, as is kind of standard with Guillermo del Toro these days. Sure, it could be a bit more subtle, and certain aspects could be fleshed out a bit more, pun intended. However, it sacrifices that to be probably the best relationship between Frankenstein and his monster I've ever seen. Begonia is such a wild, insane, and thoroughly sincere film that never lets go in its amazing, shocking, and funny scenes. The way it balances tone is genuinely masterful, and the ending is one that, while a bit predictable, left me with a huge smile on my face. Sentimental Value feels like the most relatable film on this list to anyone who may struggle with like art and creativity, but also the intersection of that and the people around you. I still haven't made up my mind about Stellan Skarsgård's character even now, 2 months after watching it. Marty Supreme might be a film with no flaws in it, genuinely portraying ambition in the most wild, entertaining way without sacrificing a lot of heart and giving the best performance I have seen in my life. One Battle After Another is an amazing directorial achievement. It feels like a 2025 film more than any other, and if it won just for exemplifying 2025, it would be absolutely deserved win. Like, if this film wins Best Picture, it will be an amazingly phenomenal moment. However, all that pales in comparison to Sinners. I genuinely think Sinners might be the greatest movie ever made. Granted, I haven't watched nearly as many movies as I should, but it's like right up there with like The Truman Show for me. Every single aspect of this film is perfectly crafted for me, and me alone. There are so many quotes that I think about all the time. Like, last time I seen my brother, last time I saw the sun, dude, just thinking about that gives me chills. And I think about that every day. Every reason people have for not liking Sinners is something I adore about it. Every single line of dialogue that seems innocuous or seems like it's just breaking up the pacing works so well for me. I adore this film. It's hard to put into words how truly magical of an experience this is. Sinners is easily my pick for Best Picture.